Shanti, and a very good morning. Today we continue yesterday's Murli, dated 13th November 1981. The title of the Murli, The Power of Silence is the basis of the powers to discern and to judge. In this Murli,
Oh, Shanti, Namaskar.
He's got disconnected. I guess he will join back.
Okay.
Baba also said about how the world needs this power of the eternal attribute is first within ourselves and then giving peace to everyone around us. How the problems can be solved with the power of silence, and how we can attain the two special powers through the power of silence, and the two special powers being one, the power to discern, and the second is the power to judge. How the, how the power of discerning helps us to keep Maya away, to keep it away, and enable us to judge what to do. So let's continue further. And here it mentions that this morning, a brother from the Karnataka zone suddenly left his body due to heart failure in Madhuban. and the cremation ceremony was held in Abu. So, in reference to that, Baba says, what lesson did you learn today? What lesson was made firm for everyone by the group from Karnataka? Was the lesson of always being ever ready made firm for you? Let everyone's bag and baggage of the body, bodily relations, physical possessions, and sanskars always be packed. How we prepare when we go on a journey or are coming back from a journey, the same way, Baba says, let everyone's bag and baggage of the body, bodily relations, physical possessions, and sanskars always be packed. How do you demonstrate the power to pack up in the posters? You show a packed bag and baggage. This is what you show, is it not? Let there be no thought about doing this or becoming this, or that something still remains to be done. How we plan about the future, how we want to do things and want to become someone. The same way, let there be no thought about doing this or becoming this, becoming about some position, or that something still remains to be done. Be ready in a second. Be ever ready for whenever the call of time comes, so that we are ready to go. So, did you make this lesson firm? The line of fortune of that soul too was drawn. Generally, a Brahmin priest or Pandit is invited to the final ceremony of a soul. However, they are only that in name, whereas here so many Brahmins gave a hand. Baba shows the difference between a Brahmin priest or Pandit in the Lokik world versus we all as Brahmins of the Alokik world. This happened in the greatest pilgrimage place where there are the most elevated Brahmins of all. Everyone cooperated as embodiments of remembrance. Therefore, that soul has such elevated fortune. Did all of you learn the special lesson of being constantly ever ready? Then Baba asks his widow, what lesson did you learn? You showed your form of success. You are courageous. You showed your practical form of an embodiment of power. Acha, to those who are constant embodiments of the awareness of their own form, their original religion, their elevated deeds, and their original land. To those who with their power of silence, are constant embodiments of peace and make others into embodiments of peace. Those who constantly move along in the waves of peace, of the ocean of peace, and who become great and righteous souls for others, to those who are to become pure, charitable souls and embodiments of peace, to such souls, Baptada's love, remembrance, and namaste. To those who are constant embodiments of the awareness of their own form, their original religion, their elevated deeds, and their original land. To those who, with their power of silence, are constant embodiments of peace and make others into embodiments of peace. To those who constantly move along in the waves of peace, of the ocean of peace, and who become great and righteous souls for others. To those who are to become pure, charitable souls and embodiments of peace, to such souls, Bapdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. And from us children, love, remembrance, and namaste to our dear sweet Bapdada. Now, Baba meeting the groups. The vehicle of Mahavir children is their elevated stage, and their ornaments are all the powers. Do all of you consider yourself to be Mahavirs? A Mahavir is one who always has his weapons with him. Shaktis and Pandavas are always shown in their vehicles and holding their weapons. Weapons are their ornaments. So they are shown seated in their vehicles, holding their weapons. The vehicle symbolizes their elevated stage, and their ornaments symbolize all their powers. The vehicle symbolizes their elevated stage, and their ornaments symbolize all their powers. Only those who are always seated in their vehicles, holding their ornaments, can become images that grant visions. Therefore, the duty of you Mahavir children is to become practical images and grant visions of the Father. Mahavirs are constantly flying. Therefore, all of you are those who fly. That is, you are all in the flying stage. Are you not? The ascending stage has now come to an end. The time for taking a jump has also come to an end. You now have to fly. As soon as you start to fly, you arrive. When you are in the flying stage, everything remains below you. You don't have to deal with any situations or persons down below because you simply continue to fly and you cross all ponds, lakes, trees, and mountains. Even a huge mountain will seem like a ball. Situations appear to be like toys to those in the flying stage. When you go up high, what do all the huge countries look like? They all look like toys and models. So here too, for those who are in the flying stage, any situation or obstacle appears to be like a game, a toy, or an ant, and the ant is dead. It is not even alive. A live ant can sometimes even bring down a Mahavir. However, this ant is a dead ant. The mountains, too, are not like mustard seeds, like rye, which is hard, but they are like cotton wool, that is rui, that is soft. Therefore, you are such Mahavirs, are you not? That's the message Baba has given to this part of the Murli. Let's take a couple of moments to reflect on what Baba said yesterday and today in the Murli, and then come back ready to share. Okay, you can unmute yourself and share.
Shanti. So Baba says um, the sign of Mahavir children. So Baba says we have to become practical image, grand vision for others, and for that we need to have a stage first, and where Baba says the stage is, so the Shaktis are shown with some stages, right, and where they are seated on some, and right, and that symbolizes the stage, and then they are also with so many ornaments, and that symbolizes their, um, their powers. So Baba would like to see us becoming that sort of a Mahavir, and then grant visions to others. So in order to do that, yes, we have to create that powerful stage, right? So the Shakti is in front of our stage, so that I think it comes with the powerful remembrance, right, of Baba. So, so that's the takeaway for me, just to stabilize in the stage, elevated stage, where others are benefited when I stabilize in my seat, and also the ornaments, the powers, so that others are granted with visions of Baba. Thank you.
Om Shanti Ramesh Bhai.
Yes, Kirjaben. Om Shanti.
You know, just to be a little bit, I don't know whether I may be wrong. I generally, when you read the Murli, because even though the Murli is displayed and all, like it's so small and it moves fast, I always go into the Murli which is sent by the admin earlier. They send the whole thing. So over there, when you were reading, I was following up. And then the second part, when you read, I was trying to relate. I couldn't get, you spoke about Mahavis, but here it was something else. So the mind, I was just confusing it to see what was there. So that second part of the Murli, I couldn't hear much excepting when you spoke of the Mahavis. I just wanted to share that because as far as what was sent to us, it is the Kumars. But that's okay. I have a very nice churning, which really, as I would like to go deep, that's the power of packing up. See, we have heard Baba always mention about this, and I remember 10 years back, there were these two words, suddenly, ever ready. Baba said, ye do shabd jo hai, you should always carry it. And there were many people I remember, especially I had some of the Kumars with whom I was in contact and who was studying. They used to ask me, Girja Ben, why should we study now? What is the thing of studying and all? When Baba is talking about the suddenly and ever ready, and then he's saying pack up and all. So, what is that relation got to do with that? What we are doing now? Is it not necessary that we should become samarpan and surrender and do? So that I couldn't give a proper answer because they were my students and I was here. I mean, they were Lokik also my students as well as they were Baba's children. I'm talking about these young Kumars. And there were even a couple of them who had revolted with their parents on this basis of when that word suddenly and ever ready had come up. I remember. So this power of packing up, one should take, I feel, a pragmatic approach. Baba is not saying that, even though he says anything can happen, we know that even the world knows anything can happen next second. Kal kisne dekha hai? That's a common word. Does that mean just because kal kuchne nahi dekha hai, we don't plan for the future, we don't plan for this? If that was the case, why did the yajna plan for buildings and all? I used to always reason it out with them. I should just say, in the mind, a kind of, you should create a disinterest slowly, as if you're packing up little. Okay, I have attachment towards this. Let me pack that up. A small package. Okay, next I have to this. Because otherwise, like they say, the greed or anything leads to more. So could you even, this is a very important thing I feel for all of us. We always never want to see, and we are sometimes, Vinesh bhai, we talk about 2036, we talk about all that, which really sometimes when you go out, it puts the people off. So this part to pack up, really we need what I think a pragmatic approach. What is Baba's real thing he wants to say in that? That doesn't mean now itself I sell my house, close everything, pack my things and go. And for everyone, there's a role. If there is somebody who has to do that, pack up and go, Baba knows, Baba will choose them. So can you really give your mindset to it? So, and I hope I get this recording, because I would like to, again, there are some of my students who still keep asking this question. That's why, see, the second part, Murli, as I told you, I couldn't resonate with you because there was some confusion. So, but this part of backup, I think, and going to the main part, that part of silence, if you could throw your mindset to it. Sorry, I think my question was quite big. Om Shanti.
So when you said that, when you power of pack up, and you said pack up my house and everything, so which is your house? The house that you're talking about? I
Yeah,
can
see,
put
these
you.
boys, they're talking about where they are, where they say we don't want to stay there. Like there was a flight to Madhuban, those days when those two words had come, so many of them just wanted to give up. So I really I never thought, I couldn't logically give them an answer, a response.
Yeah, but there is no power to give up. There is a power to pack up. So what my understanding of the all the powers that Baba said is is everything. When you collate everything, जब सब संकीर्ण करते हैं, when we are getting everything together, it is easier to manage, not only for ourselves but even for people, the souls who are there after us. And when you say my house, what we have learned is that we all are, anyways, we are foreigners. In the Lokik world, of course, we say that we own things. But since we come from a different school of learning, what Baba has been sharing with us through uh, these values, is that actually nothing is our own, because we ourselves are travelers. We are here to fulfill onto a role, to complete our karmic cycle, which, until and unless, even when we came to this gyan, to this learning, I'm sure most of us did not know about it. But the main purpose is forgotten, and then we get stuck into the muddle of the world that we live in, the one of attachments, the one of possessing. And not only we, because we are not serving ourselves, we don't even know what we are doing. There is no way that we can serve others. So when Baba says in this part of the Murli about Mahavir, when relating to each soul as Shakti and Pandava, and the weapons are the ornaments that are of the virtues, the values, how elevated your stage would be, the purpose of us being a part of this confluence age is to hold the space. First of all, orient ourselves, centralize ourselves onto recognizing ourselves as a soul power, and then enabling others to see that. So, nowhere it is talking about renunciation. It's all talking about completing whatever your responsibilities are, or what we can also say as our karmic accounts, not adding on to the new ones. So, when the question comes that what to do, what is to be done is to ongoingly keep on introspecting, reflecting, and growing, because the answers lie in there. I mean, you will ask me or ask anyone, and sure, we will be churning and we will be throwing light out of sharing each other's perspectives. But the real answer will actually come from within, because that's where you connect to the supreme power. And that's where you are not seeking the answers are showing up on their own. So, yeah, speaking about whatever your students may be thinking about, the first thing to look at is what are you thinking about it, Girjaben?
No, if you tell me, see, take for example, I had a student of 12th standard. Okay, he said, no, he's not going to do his exam at all. For what, ma'am? I don't want to do. See, and he was a very good student. He said, no, I'm not going to do, because that time I'm telling you, I think it was 10 years back or something, when Baba introduced these two words, suddenly and ever ready and all. He said, there's no need. There's no thing. So I really couldn't think. You're asking me what I thought about. What I feel is internally within me, there should be a kind of thing that, hey, the call of time can come anywhere. So do I
Yeah,
have the necessary resources or strength within me to put a full stop? It doesn't mean that if 10:20 it happens, 10:21 I should be ready. No, it is a thing which I feel I should build up, say, from earlier. That's how I take it. But
yeah,
honestly, I couldn't, what to say, give that same vibes or something to them. I'm that's why I'm asking you, Vimesh Bhai, like how do we deal with it? Because there's always is what we call it as no posting the thing. Acha, our auto time and let's do that. So Baba never tells us the time. He knows if the time is given, my children will work till the last minute and then get it. But I couldn't share with them my state of mind to say what is to be done, because their question was also, and I remember those time, I don't know if you're aware, there were many people, because I was in Madhuban at that time, they had willed all their properties and all, no, that willing had started a lot, where they willed, they said, ye jab hota hai, humko ye karna hai, wo karna hai. So I was taken aback about all that. How do Brahmins take it like that? But honestly, I couldn't understand the gist of it at all. But from my side, I said that for me, I should know, like any other non-BK also, they know any time I may have to go. My anchor will be lifted. So at
mm,
the end of the day, I should plan, okay, this is today, what I should plan for tomorrow. That doesn't mean I'm
yeah,
going to say I'm not going to see tomorrow. Some people say that, like Mama used to often say, when this tomorrow when it's there, it's not there. See, Mama's level of strength and thinking and thing, I don't think I have. So this is
mm,
always a part of pack up, and you give that picture also, no, saying the pack and and Baba's mentioning that picture today. That's why I wanted to
mm,
ask you, just
yeah,
asking for your mindset so that I can reason it out properly.
Yeah, so in the Lokik world, we do build buildings and some kind of a construction that is mainly for a possession, that we want to possess or own a particular property, or say that, okay, yeah, my flat, my apartment, my bungalow, or whatever is there is my own. So I'll recreate the line which Baba said in this Murli. Let everyone's bag and baggage of the body, bodily relations, physical possessions, and sanskars always be packed. Yeah, the constructions that are happening in Abu, the constant uh, uh, construction that's happening when new buildings are coming up, that is to give pana, if I can say, to give uh, a place when the time will come, and when all of those who realize the importance of that, who are meant to be going there, they have a place. So that those properties are not made with the context of possession. They are made with the context to serve all those souls who are going to be running and coming there at the last moment. So anything that we are right now, what we say as possessing, do we really possess it? Okay, we do possess it, but where? Over here. But do we really belong here? So we are talking about possessing something in a place where we don't even belong. Now, the understanding of that, once that is flattened and settled, then it will awaken a consciousness where you would look at that, oh, am I purposefully doing what I'm doing? It doesn't mean that you don't take care of your needs at the moment. Of course, uh, it's not that you, like, I'll reiterate that it's not like you just leave everything and say, okay, now what is the point? Kya fayda hai? ये सब अभी छोड़ के चलो, let's go. No, it's not that. But the balance that you would strike, that you are not constantly running after things. Like your student who was there in the 11th standard and may want to study, not study, or thinking. It's a personal understanding that soul may be having. Does he need to study? No, not necessary. He may choose, he may not choose. That is not an issue. But the awareness of what is the purpose of my life in this in this particular stage. For Brahmins who are there in the confluence age, the role is very clear. For the non-Brahmins, they are not clear at all, because even we were there at that some point of stage, we were there at that in their place. Only because we got this learning and this awareness is where we can have this transition of coming out of understanding. So when we ourselves are oriented around and that yes, now I understand what Baba is saying, then it is easy for us to pass it on to others and leave it for them with their choice to whether take it up or not. If that somewhere answers your question.
Interesting. You really make it interesting, because even I used to have that same, I call this as the law of economics. I used to say, see, suppose I had something and I gave it to others. I'll say, see, nothing belonged to me. God wanted to distribute the wealth. He just distributed to some more, some less, because he wanted that some more to give it to the person, to some less, so that, like a socialistic view, everyone is equitable. So nothing belongs to me. I used to really go deep on that. Nothing belongs to me. I own nothing. It's all given to me by God. It's all something distributed. Where, okay, I had some I had a little bit. I used to delve myself like that. But just to make your long story short, that boy who said that you won't believe after 5 years, he studied, he's in a big IT company in Mumbai. But I was just thinking that time I couldn't
Yeah.
give him, but after that, he just corresponded. But, such kind of I don't like the dodgy thinking I have at such times. That's why I asked you the question. Thank you very much. You made some interesting churning for me, Om Shanti.
Very nice analogy Baba has given in this Murli about flying. That when you are flying, you cross all ponds, lakes, trees, and mountains. And most of us must have flown by an airplane, and you must have seen when you must have looked down, you must have seen the clouds and how everything looks very picturesque from the top. The mountains, how they look like small bumps. Uh, so many things we don't even get to see as you're landing. As the flight is landing, you would see the cars and you'll see the, uh, the vehicles moving around, and they will actually look like toys. So when we are actually in the situation, we don't see it. But when we elevate ourselves to a higher stage, then you can see much beyond what you otherwise see. Like a frog in the well, that is the world. And the frog believes that the well is the world. But when the frog gets an opportunity to step out of the well, it can see much more beyond what it could while it was there swimming or being in that well. So this analogy that Baba has given is to actually see that everything, any situation obstacle, it will look like a game or a toy. And how Baba said that a live ant can also sometimes bring down. So you don't even have to relate to an ant as an ant. You relate to it as a dead ant means you're not investing your any kind of attachment into anything. That is how you disassociate yourself from, if I, for a lack of a better word, where you are just a sakshi having witnessing everything around you, and all that you do is continue doing your deeds which come out of the values. That's why
Bimish Bhai,
Baba
could you
asks
just do
yeah,
Bimish Bhai?
yeah, listening.
Could you just, if you don't mind, because as I told you, see, whatever churning is there, I write down. The second part of Mahavir, I just heard here and there what you shared. If you could just put it in, think what was today Baba said, because we don't have that part. And I just want to know what was your mindset on that. If you could just say it in a few words, because I don't know where is that aspect. What you read about Mahavir. If you could just
Yeah, so
share a few thoughts on that, please.
did you get about the weapons, the Shaktis, the Pandavas, the weapons, the vehicles, ornaments? Did you get that?
No, directly it was on the Kumars.
Okay, okay.
So just that what you spoke of, I wanted to pick up, but I tried. I always like to supplement it with the Murli. So if
Ye-
you could just
Yeah,
share your what in brief, I just note down.
yeah. So yeah, I can also share the copy of the Murli with you later. But just to kind of encapsulate it, It means what Baba says is that Shaktis and Pandavas are always shown, the Devi Devtas are always shown in their vehicles and holding their weapons. The weapons are the ornaments. They are not those weapons with which you fight, but they are something which protect you. They're the weapons of your virtues and your values. And they're shown seated in those vehicles, holding the weapons. And the vehicle symbolizes the elevated stage, and the ornaments symbolize the powers, all the powers that are there. Okay, only those who are always seated in the vehicle holding their ornaments can become images of grand visions. Baba used the word images of grand visions, not the visions which are limited, but they are grand visions. And the duty of us Mavi children is to become practical images and grand visions of the Father. So, first we get it for ourselves, then we become the medium to share that learning with others. And then Baba said about Mavis are constantly flying and is asking, are you in the flying stage? So now the time has come where the ascending stage has come to an end. So now you're flying, you have reached a certain height. Like when a flight flies, it takes 35,000 feet, 40,000 feet. Now that ascending stage is come to an end. Now the time to jump also has come to an end. Now all that you got to do is just cruise in that mode. And as soon as you start to fly and cruise at that mode, that means you are in the world to starting to be ready to contribute because you are now disconnected from everything that would be of an attachment. And everything remains below you. Like when you are walking on the road and say you're talking on the phone, you don't quite see what is coming under your feet except for the big things that you see. Okay, the big thing also you will cross if there is a pavement or a block in between. You will just not even consciously apply your mind. You'll just cross. You lift your foot and you'll cross. So when you're in the flying stage, everything is very minuscule. It doesn't have any kind of uh, uh, importance, I would say, or it will not carry any significance. And then you don't have to deal with any situations or people down below, but you just have to cruise. And then all situations will then appear like very, very negligible, for which you will not apply your emotions or your feelings. So this is what uh, Baba has said in this part of the Murli. If you could get what he meant to say.
Thank you, Vimesh. Thank you very much.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. So let's take the next couple of moments to tune ourselves of how we can start conducting today's day, and from today take on the practice that would elevate us as a representative of Baba. Let's get aware of who we actually are. Let's get aware of all that we are holding on to, all the bag and the baggages. The bag and baggages could be of worldly possessions, or they could be about some kind of expectations or emotions. Let's get aware that all of this is only till the time we are here in the body form. Ask yourself, is this the purpose of my life? Ask yourself, are you now getting ready to go in a second? Be ready in a second, being ever ready for whenever the time comes. It should not be like your life and your soul is stuck in the possessions and the people around you. No one is going with us, and nothing is going with us. There is only one place where we belong, and that is to our Father. He is the one who's going to be with us even after we move on. Let's get to the awareness of our own form, our own religion, our original religion. Let's get aware to elevate our deeds, and let's get aware of where we originally belong. Take this time to orient yourself with the power of silence, because with silence eventually comes peace. And once we have peace, our vibrations rise, and we are then making ourselves available to do the service that Baba needs us to do in this confluence age. Let us take this time to actually be aware of our weapons, of all the powers, and from now on, orient ourselves to operate only from the powers. The sky is open for us to fly. The sky is waiting for us. Only when you leave the bag and the baggages behind is when you can become light like a helium and then be ready to fly. Let's take this time to not invest ourselves into the attachments and let's invest ourselves in how we can contribute. With the presence of Baba in our lives, there is nothing large enough that we can't deal with. If it is large enough, then it is because of our attachment. And should we be attached, then let's orient ourselves to be attached to Baba. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone. It was wonderful journey, and it was a lot of great learning. See you again tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock.
Thank you a lot,
Om
Vimesh Bhai.
Shanti.